The words, "I've decided to start a new life without you," echoed through the upscale restaurant where we were meant to celebrate our daughter Amelia's graduation. Gregory, my husband of 28 years, made his announcement, stealing the moment we were supposed to share. Everyone waited for the emotional outburst, the tears, the scene, but instead, I smiled. "Congratulations on your honesty," I said. I'm Bianca Caldwell, 54, and for nearly 3 decades, I played the devoted wife and mother. I put my dreams on hold, supporting Gregory through his business ventures, career changes, and countless phases. I raised our daughter, Amelia, who sat beside me now, her face pale with shock. Behind me, Gregory's younger girlfriend, Cassandra, shifted uncomfortably at the back table, a symbol of everything I had missed while focusing on the family. With practiced calm, I reached into my purse and pulled out a cream-colored envelope, placing it next to Gregory's plate. "What's this?" he asked, his smile faltering. "Something for you to read later," I replied, voice steady. I kissed Amelia on the cheek, telling her how proud I was of her before standing up, smoothing my dress, and addressing the stunned guests. "Please enjoy your meal. I wish you all a lovely afternoon." Then I walked out, my head held high as 50 pairs of eyes followed me. The hot Augusta summer air greeted me as I left the restaurant, and for the first time in years, I felt a wave of relief wash over me. Behind me, I heard Gregory's frantic voice calling after me, but I kept walking. The envelope I had handed him contained the beginning of my long-planned revenge, a revenge rooted in the years of betrayal, deception, and manipulation I had quietly endured. I had always been the practical one in our marriage. While Gregory pursued risky business ventures, I worked hard to provide stability for our family. When he invested in his friend's failing restaurant, I supported us by working long hours as a finance manager. I put my dreams of starting a financial consultancy for women on hold, always telling myself, after Amelia graduates, after Gregory finds stability. 3 months ago, I noticed small, irregular transfers in our joint accounts. Gregory had been siphoning money into an account I didn't recognize, all while pretending to tighten our belts for retirement. What I didn't know was that his new life was already planned with Cassandra. He had been spending lavishly on her, looking at beachfront properties, while telling me we couldn't afford simple things. I quietly began gathering evidence. I found texts about their plans, about the life they were building, and about his intent to announce our separation publicly at Amelia's graduation. He didn't know I was already 3 steps ahead. I had been building my case, consulting with attorneys, documenting every financial deception, and preparing divorce papers. The prenuptial agreement we had signed 28 years ago had a fidelity clause, and it was about to cost Gregory everything. On the morning of Amelia's graduation, before Gregory could make his announcement, I served him with the divorce papers. The papers were still safely hidden in the court's records, and he didn't have access to them yet. I didn't return to the restaurant. Instead, I drove home to our spacious colonial, where I found Gregory's things packed in suitcases, everything prepared for his departure. I responded to messages from friends, from Gregory's sister, and even from Amelia, who was confused. "I'm okay," I reassured Amelia. "This isn't your burden." As Gregory arrived home, his voice frantic, I sat in the living room, calmly going through documents on my laptop. "What is this?" he demanded, waving the divorce papers in my face. "You wanted to start your new life," I replied. "I'm just facilitating the transition." When he tried to argue, I reminded him of the prenuptial agreement. He had insisted on it to protect his potential earnings, and now that same agreement would cost him everything. "You can't do this to me," he said, his face drained of color. "I have every right to," I said, "just as you had every right to choose Cassandra. We all make choices." I let him stew as I continued preparing for the next steps. Gregory was about to lose the house, his share of our retirement, and his carefully crafted life of illusions. I had always been the steady one, but now it was time for him to face the consequences. Over the next few days, the drama continued to unfold. Gregory's business was in trouble without my financial expertise, and Cassandra, who had once been so confident, was suddenly questioning everything. Word spread quickly. I kept my dignity and silence, telling friends only that we were separating. But Gregory's facade crumbled. His lies about wealth, his false promises to Cassandra, everything unraveled. 2 weeks later, Gregory was left with a small apartment and barely enough money to get by. The judge upheld the prenuptial agreement in full, and I walked away with the house, retirement accounts, and 70% of our joint investments. A few months later, I opened my own consultancy, Caldwell Financial Transitions. I specialized in helping women secure their financial futures, especially during life transitions like divorce and widowhood. The work was fulfilling in a way my corporate job never had been. Amelia, now thriving in her own career, frequently checked in, proud of what I had built. In contrast, Gregory's business was struggling, and Cassandra was long gone after discovering his financial troubles. The irony wasn't lost on me. At the final divorce hearing, Gregory approached me one last time. "I made a terrible mistake," he said. "Is there any chance we could—" I interrupted, gently but firmly. "That door is closed." "I understand," he said, for the first time sounding sincere. I believed him, but it was too little, too late. 6 months later, my consultancy was thriving. I had expanded and hired associates. Amelia visited often, proudly watching me build something I could truly call my own. Gregory, once the central figure in my life, was a shadow of his former self. His business was gone and his personal life in ruins. Through it all, I had learned that standing up for what's right doesn't always come without sacrifice, but the reward is worth it. I reclaimed not just my financial security, but my sense of self and my independence. My journey wasn't about revenge. It was about finding my own strength and reinventing myself. And in the end, that was the most valuable thing I could have ever gained.